Hi everyone, my name is Daniela Agostini, and today I'm going to be talking about land cover change over time in Congaree National Park. And through this project, I really wanted to understand how land cover is changing both within and around park boundaries, because land change which occurs outside of park boundaries has the potential to negatively impact natural resources within the park. And so in order to understand this, I asked three spatial questions, which are: what general land cover classes are present in Congaree and the surrounding edge? How has land cover changed over time in the park? And how has land cover changed over time around the edges surrounding the park? So I downloaded my data for this project from USGS EarthExplorer and the Congaree National Park Historical Archive. I used three main data files. The Congaree boundary file is vector data with no metadata, but still has relatively high quality. I also used a Landsat 5 image captured in 1998 and a Landsat 8 image captured in 2018. Both images are raster data with a 30-meter resolution, and they both have metadata and would be considered medium quality sources just because a higher resolution image would have provided a more accurate classification. The platform I used to perform my analysis was ArcGIS Pro, and the major spatial tools I used are the Spectral Profile tool, Image Classification tool, Build Raster Attribute Table tool, and Calculate Field. And my analysis would be considered spatial in nature because the data and methods used were within a specific geographic space and included location, shape, size, and orientation characteristics of Congaree National Park. So now I'll explain the major analytical operations I used in my project. First, I performed radiometric enhancement to improve the interpretability of my images. I then created my study area using the buffer and clip tool. Then I created at least 100 training samples for each land cover class in Congaree. I then performed a supervised classification on all 6 land cover classes in the study area. And finally, I calculated the area and percent area of land cover classes using the pixel count. So here's a visualization of the change in land cover from 1998 to 2018. And just by looking at these classified images, we can tell that there has been some change over the 20-year period. The results also confirm that there has been some change. Specifically, if we look at the change in area, we see that all natural areas like clear water, dry vegetation, saturated vegetation, and turbid water decreased, while developed man-made areas like urban and agriculture increased. And here's a chart of percent area of Congaree land cover classes, which shows the same increase in urban ag areas and decrease in natural areas. So my results are close to what I expected and are in agreement with overall findings from similar research studies which show that over time, vegetated areas decrease while developed areas increase within and adjacent to national park land. So why is this happening? While national parks have legal power to protect and conserve the natural resources within park boundaries, they don't have that same control over adjacent lands. And because biophysical gradients and habitats for certain park species are dynamic, they often spill over park boundaries into unprotected areas. So as development creeps closer and closer to those boundaries, critical habitats are destroyed and fragmented, which displaces organisms, increases competition, and reduces biodiversity in the park. And I also wanted to quickly mention a limitation of my analysis. Because the 1998 Landsat image had some cloud cover in certain parts of the image, I wasn't able to accurately classify the land under those clouds. However, the cloud cover only made up about 0.9% of the entire image, so the effects should be negligible. A logical next step in this study would be to perform an accuracy assessment of the data, as well as conduct a more detailed classification of the land. So in conclusion, the results from this project will hopefully help park managers and staff visualize spatial trends and patterns in the park over a 20-year time period, as well as understand how land cover is changing outside the park boundaries to inform future management decisions in the park. So thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and feel free to leave a comment on the forum if you have any questions.